Have you ever felt like you're constantly tiptoeing around someone you care about? Or maybe you felt guilty, anxious, or confused, even when you didn't do anything wrong. That feeling could actually be emotional manipulation, the kind that's sneaky and often goes unnoticed. Today, let's talk about some of the common tactics manipulators use and how your brain responds to them. One of the most common tricks is called gaslighting. That's when someone makes you doubt your own memory or perception. Imagine this. You clearly remember a conversation, but your partner insists it never happened. Slowly, you start asking yourself, was I wrong? Am I overreacting? And that's exactly what they want, to influence how you think and feel. Another common tactic is guilt tripping. This is when someone makes you feel responsible for their feelings, even if it's not your fault. You might hear things like, if you really loved me, you'd, or I can't believe you did this. Suddenly, you're walking on eggshells, constantly second-guessing yourself. The silent treatment might seem small or subtle, but it can really hurt. You reach out, hoping to connect, but they turn away or ignore you. Gradually, you start feeling anxious, maybe even desperate for their approval, and you begin questioning your own worth. Over time, this creates a kind of dependency. You find yourself chasing someone who's controlling your emotional highs and lows. Another tactic manipulators use is playing the victim. Suddenly, your mistakes feel bigger than theirs. You apologize, feel responsible, and they regain control. You might wonder, am I the problem? Often, the answer is no, but here's the key. Your empathy is being used against you. Finally, some manipulators use love bombing, overwhelming you with affection or praise to create dependency, then suddenly withdrawing it. It's an emotional roller coaster. Your brain craves their approval, dopamine spikes, and you get caught in a cycle of highs and lows. Projection is when someone puts their own faults or emotions onto you. For example, they might accuse you of being angry when they're the ones who are upset. This can leave you feeling confused and doubting yourself. Manipulation isn't just in person. On social media, people can pressure or shame you subtly through posts or messages. Even indirect manipulation can affect your emotions deeply. Developing self-awareness helps you recognize manipulation before it controls you. Pay attention to triggers, notice your emotions, and respond intentionally rather than react impulsively. Focus on relationships built on respect, honesty, and empathy. Set clear boundaries, notice patterns early, and surround yourself with supportive people. Your well-being is just as important as anyone else's. The most powerful protection is awareness. Emotional intelligence helps you pause before reacting. Ask yourself, what am I feeling? Why? That space between reaction and response is where your freedom lives. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They let love in and keep manipulation out. Saying no doesn't make you cold or selfish. It means you respect yourself. Remember, people who benefit from your lack of boundaries will always see your limits as an attack. Stay firm anyway. Most manipulators don't start with obvious control. They wear masks, charm, humor, empathy. They mirror your interests, your values, even your tone. You think, wow, this person just gets me. But that's the trick. They become who you want, so you'll let your guard down. Some manipulators play the hero. They rescue you just to control you later. They solve your problems, pay for things, or defend you, but then remind you constantly that you owe them. It sounds generous, but it's a transaction in disguise. Ever find yourself explaining, defending, or justifying your actions over and over? That's not healthy communication. That's manipulation fatigue. They ask questions not to understand you, but to keep you on trial. The more you explain, the less you're heard. That's how they drain your confidence, by making you defend your own reality. In many manipulative relationships, there's a pattern. First, they idealize you. You're perfect, special, they're everything. Then, slowly, they find flaws, criticize, and withdraw. It's emotional whiplash. Your worth rises and falls with their mood. Future faking is when manipulators make big promises to keep you invested. I'll change. We'll move together. I just need time. But those promises are bait, a fantasy to hold your attention. You end up emotionally waiting for a version of the relationship that never comes. One of the most dangerous manipulation tactics is isolation. Slowly, they distance you from friends and family, not by force, but by influence. They don't really care about you, or we don't need anyone else. Soon, your world shrinks until they're the center of it, and that's how control thrives. This is a big one. Manipulators don't reward you consistently. They alternate affection and punishment. Sometimes they're sweet, other times cold. Your brain starts chasing their approval, trying to earn the good moments back. Manipulators often rush your decisions. You have to decide now, or if you don't say yes, I'll move on. Pressure creates confusion, and confusion weakens boundaries. Healthy people give you space to think. Manipulators rush you to trap you. Control doesn't always look emotional. Sometimes it's financial. They control your access to money, transportation, or even opportunities. It's subtle at first. Let me handle it. Then later, you can't afford to leave me. After manipulation, trust feels like walking on cracked glass. You question everyone's motives, even your own. But here's the truth. Trust doesn't return all at once. It rebuilds slowly, through consistency, honesty, and time. Start with trusting your own intuition again. If something feels off, believe yourself. Manipulators train you to depend on them for approval. Breaking that pattern means learning to validate yourself. Try asking, what do I think? What do I need? The more you answer honestly, the less space manipulation has to grow. When someone hurts you but also claims to love you, your brain splits into conflict. That's cognitive dissonance. You cling to the good moments and excuse the bad because both can't exist at once in your mind. Healing means allowing both truths. They cared and they caused harm. Acceptance ends confusion. In the end, emotional manipulation isn't just about control. It's about confusion. It hides in the quiet moments, in the apologies you didn't owe, the doubts that weren't yours, and the love that came with conditions.